Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. The Champions League quarter-final draw and semi-final draw has been done. Arsenal know who their opponents will be in the last 8. And if you don't know who it is yet, you could probably take a very good educational guess as to who it probably is, as it's quite a typical draw for Arsenal. We will discuss that in a moment, and obviously the potential semi-final draw and our potential path on the road to Wembley to only our second Champions League final. I'll tell you now, guys, it is going to be a very, very tough one. I wouldn't be booking any hotels around Wembley just yet. But before we go into all of that, I think we need to discuss a player of ours who has had a bit of a whirlwind 24 hours. Little bit of a mixed 24 hours. Been in the press. And that's our number 4, Benjamin White. The last 24 hours has been a bit up and down for him. It started, really well yesterday. He signed a new contract, a new long-term contract at Arsenal, extending his current deal up until 2028. Obviously, improved terms, and he's one of the players at the club who really do deserve it. Really happy for him. Really happy he's staying. Such a consistent player. Can play right back, centre back, and now he's started to add different bows to his game. Since he's moved to right back, he's been more of an overlapping right back, and getting up and helping Saka, take players away from Saka and link up with Odegaard and Bukayo. But now he's started to invert. He's coming more inside and breaking lines with his passing. Always available, always fit, plays through injuries like he was earlier on in the season. It was quite well known that White did have an injury and was struggling, and you could probably see that by his form at that point where he wasn't playing his best. But he kept turning up, kept playing through it, as we didn't have any other options, as Tomiyasu was injured like he is every fucking week. And obviously we've been very unfortunate with the injury of Timber. So, and actually in his first season, towards the end, when we was going for the top 4, Rob Holdings famously said in a interview with, I can't remember who it was, but he said that, White was really quite injured then, and he played through. I can't remember what it was, whether it was a hamstring or a groin injury or something, but he had some sort of problem where he just soldiered through and kept playing through it. He puts the team first. He's the kind of man you want in your team. He's kind of an horrible bastard. He'll do anything to win. He'll trip people up. He'll grab their legs, pull them back. He's the kind of man who would take a red card for the team if he had to. Just the sort of guy you want in your team, and I'm really, really happy he's extended his deal. But contrary to that, the England squad was announced yesterday. Ben White wasn't in it. And there's no secret that White left. Well, we all know he left the World Cup squad at the end of 2022, was it, or 2023? 2022. He left the World Cup squad halfway through the tournament due to what was rumoured having an argument with the England assistant coach, Steve Round, I believe his name is, in a fallout of Gareth Southgate as he wasn't playing. And it's come out recently that apparently they used Ben White as a little bit of a target in terms of having a pop at him in front of the players to do with something about not caring or some bollocks like that. So he's not been part of the England squad since then. And Gareth Southgate come out yesterday, announced the England squad, and decided to tell the world that, he got a call from Edu, obviously the Arsenal technical director, a week or so ago, saying that Ben White did not want to be considered for the England squad. And yeah, just then caused this whole thing online, everyone ripping into Ben White, saying how it's a disgrace to turn down your country and all this. Look, my point on it is, I'll be honest, I'm the sort of man who's club over country. I don't really care about England too much. Of course, I want England to win the World Cup and the Euros, and when the big tournaments come, I follow it, I watch, and I support England, and I hope England win. But look, if Ben White's gone there and he's had a bad experience, he's had a fallout, he wasn't playing, there was likes of like Eric Dyer, and we all know how much Gareth Southgate loves Harry Maguire playing over him. Look, I understand he might not start as a right back due to the fact we've got some really good right backs, obviously Kyle Walker, Trent, Trippier and Reece James. But Ben White should be starting for England in centre-back, in my opinion. I've always said it. I think him and John Stones should be the centre-back pairing. But he's never really had a look in. We all know Gareth Southgate has his favourites, etc. And White, you know, they've obviously had a bust-up before anyway. No one knows the full ins and outs, who's right and who's wrong, etc. But he's decided he doesn't want to go and play for England at the moment. Whether that's just under Southgate or in general. You know, some players might just not like playing for their country. And most people say, oh, it's a disgrace and this and that. I be honest, I don't care. If he doesn't want to go, he don't have to go. It don't bother me personally. But I thought it was a little bit of a dickhead move from Southgate just to put that out there and try turn all the attention away from Southgate and Steve Round and put it on Ben White. Because I think they know that, you know, with the form Ben White's been in, especially since the turn of the year, he's probably been the best right back in the league potentially, and definitely right up there anyway. And he probably knows that there's going to be questions thrown at him about it, and he's just decided to turn it all on Ben White. Really and truly, I'd love White to come out and, you know, have his say on it and tell people what happened and why he doesn't want to go. But I think he's the type of character who just really won't give a shit and will just crack on, do his training and stuff now, take his break up until the City game, probably go on holiday with his missus and just won't really care. Ben White is the most interesting character, I think, at Arsenal. If I could pick to go and have a pint with anyone in the Arsenal squad, it would be Ben White. You know, he's famously come out and said that he doesn't really watch football, didn't really watch it growing up. His family aren't big into football, and he just plays it and he enjoys playing it, and he's just luckily good at it. And for some reason, everyone seems to have a problem with that. He's never said he hates football. People say, oh, he's always said he hates the game, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't be as good as you are, work as hard as you are, and be as passionate about winning as you are as Ben White if you don't love it. Just because when you go home, you want to switch off and you don't want to watch it and think about it anymore, I don't see a problem with it. As long as he turns up every week for Arsenal and plays well, I don't give a shit about what he does for England or anyone else. I really, really don't. So big up Ben White, really happy on his contract extension, and fuck Gareth Southgate, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, now let's crack on with the Champions League draw. As I said in the beginning of the video, if you don't know who it is, who we drew in the quarterfinal yet, you can probably guess. It will be Arsenal at home in the first leg versus Bayern Munich. Harry Kane obviously just left Tottenham, always been a thorn in Arsenal side for many years, coming back to face us in the last 8. And look, it's a very, very good, I'd say well-balanced tie. And I think a lot of people might edge Arsenal as slight favourites in this game. It's not the Bayern Munich of old. The Bayern Munich who have absolutely ripped us apart in years gone by. You look at, I think, last time he was in the Champions League. We drew them in the last 16. They done us 5-1 in both legs, done us 10-2 on aggregate. And bloody hell, I don't think the club's ever fully recovered from that. So, but this is a very different Bayern Munich team. They're currently second in the Bundesliga. Probably about to lose the Bundesliga to Bayern Leverkusen, Granit Xhaka's team. Go on, Granit, the boy. They're like 10 points behind them. I watched them against Leverkusen, about a month or so ago. They got absolutely battered 3-0. It's not the same Bayern Munich team, but it's definitely a team to be wary of. And as much as I'm saying we can beat them, they could definitely beat us. But the first game will be at the Emirates on the 9th of April, I believe it is. Or 9th or 10th, one of them. And we do have a slight advantage in that game. Not just the fact, obviously, we have a home advantage anyway. But Bayern Munich are not allowed any fans to that game, as they threw some fireworks or flares, I believe it was, on a pitch in one of their legs against Lazio in the last 16. So UEFA have banned them from having any away fans at the Emirates, which is a massive, massive advantage for Arsenal, because Arsenal can fill the away end with pure Arsenal fans as well. So you look at it, that's like 60-odd thousand against 11. We need to really take advantage of that and go into the game with the fact they're not in the greatest of forms in their domestic league. And let's just fucking go for it, man. Let's have it. Let's just go to the Emirates and see if we can get a very good positive result and have the tie, you know, one leg in the semi-final before we've even gone to the Allianz Arena. Won't be easy. Bayern Munich have still got phenomenal players who could turn it on at any time. Obviously, they've got Neuer, who's probably the best keeper I've ever seen. Kimmich is a fantastic player. Alphonso Davies is an electric left-back. The sort of lleft-back I could see lock up Bukayo Saka. I think he could have a tough 2 games. He's so quick and strong. And Saka, for as brilliant as he is, sometimes he struggles with a fullback who is a lot quicker and stronger than him. And Alphonso Davies is definitely a lot quicker than Bukayo Saka. Obviously, they got some dangerous wingers in Coman, Leroy Sané, Gnabry. Musiala's a fantastic player. And then they've got Harry Kane up front, who, in my opinion, is the best number 9 in the world. So it will be a very, very tough game. But one, I do definitely think Arsenal can win. I think Arsenal, at the minute, have probably a better balance in terms of defence and attack than Bayern Munich do. Bayern Munich still score a lot of goals in their league, but defensively they're not watertight. They do have some absolute donuts at the back, like Upamecano, who's clumsy as fuck, Eric Dyer, who's shit and always has been. But it's a dangerous game. It is a dangerous game, but it's an exciting tie. It really, really is. Don't get me wrong, I didn't want them. I wanted Dortmund, and I wanted us to land on the same side of the draw as PSG and Barca as well. But we've landed on the shit side of the draw. So even if we do beat Bayern Munich and get to the semi-finals, in the semi-final we will be playing one of Real Madrid or Manchester City, who have drawn each other, which is, don't get me wrong, it's a great draw. It's great that one of them two are going to go. But I didn't want to play any of those two teams at any potential final. So it is, for Arsenal to get to the final now, it is going to be extremely tough. You've got the 4 favourites for the Champions League in terms of like the bookies and everything in Manchester City, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, all on that side of the draw. So only one of those teams are going to get to the final. Whichever team gets to the final will fancy their chances of winning it, whoever they play. And you look on the other side of the draw, the winner out of PSG and Barcelona in the quarterfinal will probably fancy their chances of making it to the final as well. But I wouldn't rule out Atletico. I think Atletico are just that dodgy, dirty team who can just scrape results. And they do have some talent as well. They're basically Porto on Reds with like the likes of Griezmann, etc. They're such a dodgy team. I'm really happy we didn't draw them, to be honest with you. Absolutely hate them. And I saw someone tweet, I don't know who it is at all, but they said it would be such an Arsenal thing to somehow beat Bayern and then beat one of Manchester City or Real Madrid, then lose 1-0 to Atletico in the final, and that made me feel sick because that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But look, Arsenal have got a tough road to the final now. I would love just to get to the semi-final and then see what happens there. We owe Bayern Munich one. They have embarrassed us time and time again in the Champions League. And now we're at a point where I think team-wise, we're at level-ish playing field. They've got a lot more experience than us, and they do have some real, genuine world-class players. They've got Harry Kane, who's an absolute menace. But the thing is with Harry Kane, as brilliant as he is, I think we've got the 2 perfect centre-backs to deal with him in Saliba and Gabriel. They can play a nice high line against him. He's never going to outrun any of them. He's not stronger than any of them. He won't beat them in the air much. So we can keep him as far away from our box as possible. And if you look at last season when we played against Spurs, yes, Harry Kane scored a penalty in the first game at the Emirates, but he didn't really do too much other than that. So, and you know, we've got the likes of Declan Rice now. And hopefully we can get the likes of Thomas Partey and Tomiyasu up to speed, possibly Timber, because I would not want to see Zinchenko in this kind of game. Zinchenko up against Leroy Sané would just be an absolute murder, to be honest with you. So hopefully we can get some players. Well, obviously the players are pretty much back fit now, but up to match fitness and sharp and keep them fit till the end of the season. And I think we could have a decent chance of beating Bayern Munich. Definitely they will feel just probably similar to us. They will feel like that they can definitely knock us out as well. But I think that first tie at home is so important, especially without their fans there. Let's fucking stick it on them and try to take them out. Because last thing you want to do is when they don't have any fans, go to the Allianz Arena, either drawing, or I'd say even just one goal in front wouldn't be necessarily great. Or losing, of course, which would be the absolute worst case scenario. But I think we've got to go there with a 2 or 3 goal lead. I really, really do. And then if you can go to Bayern Munich Stadium with that, knowing they've got to come at you and you can just play on the counter. We know how good Arsenal are defensively now, so I think we are a sort of team who can potentially sit back and just control the game and hit them on the counter attack. But let's see. It will be really tough, and we've got you got to see what form both teams are in come that quarter final, if there's any injuries, etc. So, but it's a very exciting draw. It's not the draw I wanted, and it's definitely not the potential semi-final I wanted. And yeah, I wanted to be on the other side of the draw, and then I think we would have had a very decent chance of making it to the final. But on the plus side, if somehow we do navigate ourselves through this and get to the final, we will have a fucking brilliant chance of at winning it, especially at Wembley as well. So, yeah, big day for Arsenal, very exciting day. I'm sure all the players are buzzing with it, and I'm sure all the players are confident that they can beat Bayern Munich. You know, this is a fresh new group of players. They haven't played in the Champions League together before. They don't have the trauma and the fucking embarrassment of remembering what happened last time we played Bayern when they smashed us to pieces. So, yeah, let's have it. Like I said, big draw. And yeah, we'll do, obviously, Arsenal don't have a game this weekend, unfortunately, as we're out of the FA Cup and we don't play again till Man City now. But, yeah, in a few weeks' time. But so I'll try to do some other videos during the week. I'll try to think of some stuff to do. But, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Good draw for Arsenal, bad draw, are you feeling confident, nervous? What do you think our chances are of making the final now? That's the big one, because I've seen online already, and I spoke to a few friends who already believe that we can knock out Bayern Munich. But what chance, if we did, do we really have against either a City or Madrid? You know, that game would be so tough. And when you look at it, if we did beat one of those teams, and if we did beat Bayern Munich, and we got to the semi-final against one of those teams, you're looking at, I saw it earlier, I'll see if I can find the picture, but you're looking at potentially having, in the space of 2 weeks, Chelsea, City at home, Spurs away, City away. And that's a tough 14 days. But, you know, that's something to potentially think about if we beat Bayern Munich. Let's just beat Bayern Munich first. But yeah, let me know, like I said, in the comments what you guys think. Please do like, comment, subscribe and share. Would mean the absolute world to me. And yeah, speak to you guys soon. Bye-bye.